Oh my God, you guys. The plot thickens. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap slash review of 90 Day Fiancé. This one I'm going to be talking about Breaking Point. This episode is so good, girl. And girl, and as I said in my last video, if you have time or you are on the West Coast, I do a live viewing where we get in this chat room, girl, and we talk ish on YouTube. And I do a live showing of the episode, and we just, get in there, have a real good time. So if you're interested in that, you can join that. I also have a Facebook group on Facebook called Just Call Me Wah. It's a closed group. Just ask to be invited. You're asked 3 questions, and you're in, girl. That's it. It's also being moderated by another subscriber. Her name is Kathy. She's awesome. She is in Malaysia, I believe, and she gives us all the Asian tea. Like, she tells us about Asian culture, so when we have questions about Aiko, when we have questions about Annie, she's right there to give us the information, okay? So, let's jump into this episode. This episode really is only about 2 couples, okay? David and Annie and Molly and Louise are the only 2 couples that matter in this episode, so let's talk about them first. David and Annie. So, we find all these things about David constantly. David is like peeling back an onion. There's just always more and more and more drama. He's gone back to Louisville. We know there's probably some drama with his kids, but we do not know how much drama is with his kids, girl. They go to have dinner. It's Ashley and Jacob. Jacob is his son, who he hasn't seen really since he was 13 years old. Because all of the ish happening where he lost his job and everything, he bounced and he went to Thailand and he left Jacob. Jacob is his youngest. Jacob is now 18, but he hasn't really seen Jacob since he was 13 years old. He missed 13 to 18 of his only son's life. Did we know that? We didn't know that. And now we judge David bad. That is ridiculous. So anyways, Ashley brings all this up. She's like, rapid fire, I have questions. How are you gonna get married with this woman? You don't have any money. Like, do you know, she says to Annie, do you know what he did to my mother? Do you know his past? Do you know his legacy, what he's done? And Annie's just kind of like, Annie is so overwhelmed and so embarrassed she doesn't know what to do because she had no idea. Ashley is asking very, very valid questions. Like, excuse me, how are you just gonna come back into our lives? You've missed 5 years of his life and you're not even acknowledging it. Like, you just want us to have this honky-dory, happy family dinner, and that's not what it is. You owe us some stuff. You owe us some apologies. You owe us some explanation. And she's just telling Annie all of the business, how he cheated on her mom, and how what he did and like how he just left them. Ashley says that my dad was never really there for us. Do you think that he's going to be there for you and the kids that he has with you? I mean, he has a very bad track record. And David is getting upset and defensive because Ashley is spilling all the tea and telling all his business and stuff that he's trying to say is in the past and isn't important right now, and it's all in the past and it doesn't matter. And it's like, no, if you refuse to acknowledge it or even apologize for what you did in the past, how are you going to change the future? You're not going to. You're just going to continue to make the same mistakes because you don't think you did anything wrong. Ashley even brings up his drinking problem. Like, I mean, it's a serious situation, and Annie just does not know what to do. Ashley ends up throwing water on her father because she's that pissed off. And she even says in the group chat when we were having the conversation that she's a little embarrassed about that behavior, that she didn't act the best. But look, we understand where you're coming from, girl. We understand. David even throws back some comment of like, oh, I didn't help you. I didn't take care of you. I didn't support you. What happened when you had a kid at 16? Like, you're her dad, so you took care of her because your 16-year-old daughter had a kid, so she's still a child, and so therefore you still have to take care of your child and her child. Like, what are you even talking about? Ash was like, he doesn't even have a relationship with my kids anymore. I was under the impression that he was in Thailand having like weekly conversations with his kids. Apparently no. He's gone off and lived his life as though he doesn't have kids at home. He doesn't have progeny at home. People that he helped create and bring into this world. Now he's acting like he has no responsibility to them. I mean, I just can't stand David. I can't stand him at all. What he did to his only son is just so selfish. The son is just like, that's just who he is. Like, the son is like, seems to be resigned to the fact that he doesn't really have a dad who's in his life. Side note, when I closed my eyes and I heard the son talk, I thought he was black. And then I opened my eyes and he was a redhead. So I was just like, it's just overwhelming for Annie. And Ashley just has so much emotion. She ends up getting up and walking off, and Jacob is just like waiting for his food. Like, he can't even be bothered about it. She goes in. Later on, Annie and Ashley end up having a private conversation where Annie can, like, I guess have a one-on-one with Ashley. Producers set it up. Ashley gets there and is basically like, I just want to tell you what my dad is like so you know what you're getting into. My dad is the type of man who cheated on my mom constantly. In fact, he would like to spend money, get drunk, and hang out with prostitutes and spend money on prostitutes. That's a huge reveal. And I don't necessarily judge David for wanting to hang out with prostitutes. I'm all about him supporting prostitutes and providing money into that economy. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, I don't care if a man wants to give money to a prostitute. I don't care if he wants to go to the strip club every day. If you're my husband, if you're anyone's husband, I absolutely care. You can do that all day if you don't have a family and a wife to take care of and responsibility to other people. You cannot spend our money on prostitutes because that is a waste of money at that point. If that's all you want to spend your money on, then don't have a family. That's just the way I see it. It's just like, it was so revealing about David, and I feel so bad for Annie, and I really want her to get out of this. I really want her to not marry him, because I don't think that he's even at the place where he's acknowledged his past behavior or how he's treated his wife or his children, and it's not going to be healthy for Annie, especially if she has kids. She's 24 years old. He's 50 something. I know he's lying about being 48. He can't be 48. He must be like 50 something. And like, it just hurts my feelings. But you know, these are grown people, so let them live their lives, and I'll be here to watch it. So now Molly and Louise. Girl, Molly and Louise. They are gonna have to break up. Molly is trying to give Louise an out in the beginning. They go to dinner. She basically says, if you can't handle being a stepdad and handle what I'm offering you and this is my life, I'm not gonna send my kids away. And he's asked Molly, or told Molly, or had a conversation with Molly about Kinsley going and living with her dad, because he wants vacation Molly. He does not want Molly who's busy. He didn't sign up for this. And she's just like, look, if you're unhappy, if you can't do this, and I don't want you to get married to me. I want you to go home. And he's just like, I love you. I want you to be my wife, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, yeah, but if you can't accept what is happening right now in my life, currently, it's not going to change. I'm not going to give my daughters up. If you can't accept that, then you should go. And he's like, well, then I have to think about it. Like, I don't understand what you think about. Louise, just go. So later on, they end up having another conversation about it, and he's just like defensive and angry, and they're in the bedroom, and he's like, do you want to have this conversation now in front of the cameras? Like, he acts like he's about to reveal something crazy about Molly. And Molly is like, yeah, we can have this conversation now in front of the cameras. Like, it doesn't matter. And he's like, well, why don't you have nothing about the Bible in this house? And we're all confused. Everybody in the chat, everybody in the camera crew, we're all confused. Everybody's like, what? And he's like, you have Buddha, and you have this, and you have that, but you don't have nothing. It's either Jesus Christ, it's either God in the Bible, or it's the devil. And she's just like, what? He's talking about the owl. She has like owls everywhere. She has like a little area where she like lights a candle, and it's like a feather and like an owl. I have scriptures in the bathroom. I have all kinds of religious stuff all over this house. Wait, so what you're telling me right now is the reason why we're not working out and the reason why we're fighting is because of all of the bad omens around the house? What? And we're in the chat room, we're on live on YouTube, like, what? So Louise, you've been living here for damn near 3 months. And you're gonna say that she has all this idolatry around the house, and that's why they're not working out. Because there's no God there's no Christian Catholic God around her house. I'm sorry, she's in the South. There's Christian Catholic God everywhere, okay? Because she has an owl doesn't mean anything. And if you are superstitious and believing in that nonsense, like, very superstitious. When you believe in things that you don't understand, you suffer. Superstition ain't the way. Like, come on. Like, it is so insane. Like, she's like, I feel like I'm going insane. And Molly, girl, we were right there with you. Molly, girl, you in danger. Louise is absolutely insane. If all of a sudden, after he's been living in sin with Molly for 3 months, after he blew her back out every night on the beach in the Dominican Republic, he is going to come to the United States, see her owl, see her little candle situation, and tell her that she's practicing devilry? You've been practicing devilry sleeping in her bed. eating all her food. Nah, that wedding needs to not happen. That wedding cannot happen. He's a crazy person. That wedding cannot happen. Nope. All of a sudden he's like super religious, and all of a sudden he cares about her quote unquote idolatry, and all of a sudden he like is worried about the owls everywhere. Like, she seems like she's a very spiritual person, and she's somebody who takes in all kinds of religions and all kinds of like positive energies and positivity when it comes to that kind of stuff, and he's gonna come at her with some devilry stuff. Like, she's secretly practicing witchcraft. No. Take home. Take your ass home. If you gotta get on a boat, if you gotta swim, if you gotta fly, take home. No. I am so mad at Louise. And the beginning of that episode too, I was like, ooh, Louise look good. Like, ooh, he's so sexy. Now I'm just like, he's a crazy person who needs to go back home to his mama. Molly's over there screaming, looking crazy. And girl, I was right there with him because he was talking absolute nonsense. And he was being so extra and ridiculous. And I just was like, what are you talking about, dude? Bro. Okay. So then we go to David and Evelyn, which is super boring. We find out that they found a place that's only 8 houses down from her family. Like, she's like, no, my parents won't be over all the time. You know, I'm not going to be over there all the time. And David's like, are you sure? Because I really want our privacy. I don't want your family over at the house. And everything falls within their budget. Her dad has a friend who has a house. It's a house. It's $900 rent, super within their budget, including heat, gas, electricity, and internet. So like, it's a deal they can't pass up. The only caveat is it's 8 houses down from where her parents live. And she's like, no, we don't have to go over there like all the time, just for Sunday dinner and Tuesday dinner and Thursday dinner and Saturday like sing along or whatever, and band practice on Friday nights. Like, she didn't say all that. I'm just making this up, but like, it's so funny because like, of course they're gonna be over there all the time. Evelyn doesn't know how to cook. And then he talks about the fact that he's just not uncomfortable talking about sex, and that he will talk about it with her. And it seems like, you know, everything is just moving so fast for them. There's been so much happening within their 90 days and a lot of growing pains, a lot of getting to know each other. And so they're boring, and who cares? Move on. So now we have Josh and Aiko. Josh and Aiko, like, basically Aiko's digging in on him. They go to a fertility clinic to talk about Josh, but the doctor, who is a part of the patriarchy as a woman, is sitting up there telling Aiko that Aiko's eggs are dwindling and that she's the one who needs to hurry up and get pregnant because as she hits age 40, she's not going to be able to conceive. And all of a sudden I'm getting like anxious and like palpitations because like me and Aiko are the same age, and like, how dare a doctor tell me that? Like, obviously we know that there's more risk, but it's not that big a deal. I know so many women who are in their late 30s, early 40s who have kids and that are perfectly healthy and fine. Like, this whole, they gotta stop with all that. They gotta stop with all that 100%, because that was like real gross. Like, don't be telling women that they have to have kids and they're on some sort of time limit. Yeah, they are. The peak is, yeah, in their 20s, but like, hello, that's not necessarily ideal for a lot of people to have their kids in their 20s. Like, you want to have your kids when you're ready financially and when you've done having all your good times. Like, come on, don't be like, ugh. It was just very upsetting for me. I was just like, this is giving me anxiety. I told everybody in the group chat it was giving me anxiety, and I had to move on because I was like, don't be telling me that I'm running out of time and that my eggs are shriveling up and I have a low egg count. Like, you don't know my life. And then she didn't even say anything about Josh. Like, I guess because everyone's acting like, oh, you know, the Josh situation is reversible, so it's fine. The problem is it's the money. Josh doesn't have the money to do it. Anyway, so Aiko has an exam. Doctor comes back and tells her all that stuff, but Aiko's still hopeful. She's like, I still have kids. Aiko's like from the Philippines. I'm sure people have kids all the way up until like whenever, you know? Like, she's not worried about it at all. The doctor can tell her whatever, and she's like, look, I'm good. Let's talk about him and how we can reverse his situation, because he's the one who took away his manhood. So they go to Starbucks and they have a drink and they're talking, Josh and Aiko, and like, Josh tries to turn the tables and like blame Aiko and like tell Aiko that, you know, well, we need to hurry up because you're the one with the problem. And she's like, okay, that's great, but we need to hurry up because you need to get it reversed. Like, that's what we need to do. Stop blaming me. And he's like, I'm tired of taking the blame for the reason why we can't have kids. But it is your fault. Like, if you didn't have a vasectomy, she might be pregnant by now. You don't know. So the first thing is to get you unfixed. And then she's like, well, I don't know what you want from me, but this needs to happen. Would you like me to have kids with someone else? Like, if you're not going to get it done, like, I could do that, you know? And he just gets upset and walks out and like starts to cuss at her, and she says, F you. And they cuss at each other. They have their like first on-camera fight regarding this matter because he's acting like he wants her to take responsibility for like not being able to have kids. And she's like, we don't know that I can't have kids, but we know that you can't for sure. So we're never going to know until you figure your situation out. And he's just like, why would you say that to me? You know that I've had bad situations with infidelity and my wife's cheating on me, and you're gonna say that you're gonna have sex with another man. That hurt my feelings. And she's like, I'm sorry, babe, like whatever, but let's get you reversed, okay? And then we go to Azan and Nicole. And basically Azan's like, okay, we can try this. I'm so pissed off. Like, their story is such a train wreck and it's so disgusting that it's like, I don't even feel comfortable watching it anymore. Like, she does all this stuff to him. Her aunt tells him to stick with it. And so he's like, okay, you know, I want to go to the United States and see what it's like. I don't want to break up. Like, so I guess Azan's going to visit her later on after she leaves. So Nicole is so happy now because she gets to beat up on her boyfriend in the States now. It's going to be seen as perfectly fine that she's beating up on this poor little Muslim guy. David is so annoying. It's like he just really wants his kids to get over the fact that he abandoned them. Like, he acts like they're adults, like they're not his progeny, they're not children who are hurt that their father left them. He acts like, you're an adult, grow up. I left, I'm back, I want our families to merge and meld, and I don't understand why you guys just can't pretend and make it happen. I'm not going to deal with your feelings. I have my own feelings too, and I'm not dealing with them either. I think that's it, guys.
Pause. I realize now that I forgot to talk about Elizabeth and Andre, so let's talk about them now. So we start off with Elizabeth and Andre talking about the bachelorette party. Andre is helping Elizabeth pack and she's asking for his input on what outfits he finds to be appropriate. They decide, they have conversation about her always having her phone on her so that he can contact her. They're not going to lose contact during this entire time. She agrees. So she goes with her girls, her sister and her friend. Her friend Shannon has all the Botox, you know, that Florida might have to offer. And they are having a good time, getting ready to go out drinking, and Jen, Elizabeth's older sister, decides to take Elizabeth's phone. Elizabeth is not happy. So this fun thing that they had planned starts to turn sour very quick because Libby is pissed that they have her phone. And she's just, you know, she's feeling like they just don't respect the fact that she's getting married and that this is her time and they're trying to make it about them. And so she's pissed. So Becky decides to tell Jen to give Elizabeth back her phone, and that's what happens. Jen apologizes. Then they get into the limo and they start to go, this pink limo. And while they're in there, Libby's passing out drinks, talking about the rules that Andre has kind of put on them, or the parameters about staying in contact and such. And one of her sisters makes some comment about, like, American guys not having a problem with their wives going out and having strippers at their bachelorette party. And I'm just like, what American guys is she talking about? Because that is not a true blanket statement. There are plenty of American guys who feel the exact same way Andre does. So, like, that's a dumb false statement. So they're having a good time and they get to a club and Libby lets loose, girl. She is standing on tables, she is dancing, she is feeling herself, she is having an amazing time at her bachelorette party. So it turns out to be good for her. Later on, when she gets back and Andre has some questions, he's like, where were you? I lost you for a couple hours. She explains that they took away her phone and that she fought to get it back. He's still annoyed because he feels like Libby didn't do all that she could. And we also feel the same way too, right? Like, if she's really upset about the fact that they took her phone, did they wrestle her to the ground and take her phone? Not that I'm aware of. So why did she let them take it? Exactly. She's a grown person. But I think she just didn't want to fight with them in the moment, and now she's having to fight with Andre about it too, because he's confused as to how they even got her phone. And I'm just like, it's neither here nor there. She's trying to explain to him how she was dancing, what she was doing, and he's getting so upset and like being like, you're not acting like a woman, you're not acting like a decent woman who's getting married. And I'm just like, okay, Andre, you're going too far. But at the same time, like, I just wish everyone would just let Libby live, you know? That's my main thing. It was kind of boring, but I thought I would talk about it just a little bit. Our sisters are really trying to, like, prove a point, but they're just alienating her and pushing her towards Andre. And I don't think anything's wrong with Andre. I just think he needs to get some boundaries. I think that Libby needs to put up boundaries with him, and I think this is probably the beginning of that. She's starting to see how he is, because he's getting upset over the fact that she's, like, dancing at her bachelorette party, like, on a table, like, around her friends. You know, she's not like she's even, like, in the middle, like, in a cage or anything, and he's, like, kind of overreacting. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I wish the best for them though. Okay, bye.
So that's it for this conversation. Again, follow me on Snapchat, join the group chat on Facebook, see me on Sundays so we can have the conversation live. It's gonna be so much easier. This month has been really crazy for me. I'm working 60 hours a week and I really want to give you guys all the tea, but sometimes I'm just like so lagging. I don't even know. Today, I'm gonna tell you right now, today's Tuesday. It's 3:55. I have to leave for work in 25 minutes. Let's see when this video gets put up, you know? All right, you guys, so that's it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to consider becoming a Patreon patron, please leave a comment down below. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. All right, bye. Oh, I forgot to tell you what's on my lips. So what's on my lips is, let me get it, is More to Love Lip Liner by MAC and Flat Out Fabulous by MAC. Ooh, this used to be my go-to pink combination, and then I discovered Bauhaus 5, which is an everlasting lipstick by Kat Von D, and this one is matte, but it's transferable, right? Whereas the other one isn't, and it's a slightly brighter pink. But yeah, if you love it, this is an amazing color combination, fantastic on dark skin. All right, you guys, bye.